Happy Sunday, YouTube. Namaste and welcome to my channel, guys. I hope you've all had a lovely weekend. I'm just burning some Palo Santos. I bought this a couple of days ago. I've been using sage for a couple of months now, but I used this last year and I've just really forgotten how much I love the smell. I love the smell of sage. My kids hate it, but I absolutely love this. It's like a really sweet smell. So I've done nothing other than burn this every single night since I've had it. It's really good, and it's helped me connect. So how are you all? I hope you're all okay. I hope we took something from the last video I posted. We are just about nearly to the full moon in Cancer, guys, which is happening on the 17th. I think that's tomorrow. I'm 100% that's tomorrow, nearly 100% that's tomorrow. And yeah, it's been a little bit emotional for me, but we are in the sign of Cancer, and I did say that I was going to do a video on this, but I'm going to do a reading straight after this video on for the collective for us on the full moon, because Venus is still retrograde and we have just gone into Mercury retrograde as well. So it's not just a full moon this month. Pluto is also squaring the full moon. Pluto is also always about transformation, guys. It's the death card in the tarot. It's scorpionic energy, so it's transformation, it's death and rebirth. So that being a square to the Cancer full moon with Venus in retrograde going through, I think it's in the sign of Aquarius now, and the sun will be moving from Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius in the next 4 days. I think it's the 21st. So there is a lot going on up in the skies right now, you know. So 1 minute you can be feeling amazing and focused and really getting into the Aquarian energy of speaking our truths, of being free, of feeling liberated, you know, the future, very future orientated, which we're stepping into. But you can also then go back, and there's going to be memories of the past that are going to come up with the Cancer full moon. It's all about our emotions. So, and this one, it goes really deep to the root of our pain, you know. So I'm not saying it's just going to be an easy ride, you know. There's going to be a lot of people resurfacing from the past. You may get people popping back up into your reality who you might not have seen for the past 20 years, you know. Things that haven't been resolved, that you've been holding on to, will come up from your subconscious into your conscious mind right now. That's what the moon does. It highlights the shadows, you know, to bring it to the forefront, to bring it to our conscious mind so we can deal with it and let it go with the full moon for good, you know. Venus is still retrograde and will be transiting from Capricorn into Aquarius now as well in the next couple of days. I'm not 100% what date that is. So I think it goes direct on the 21st. So any sort of relationships, be it love relationships, family, friends, may have been a bit of a struggle over the past couple of weeks while it's been in Capricorn retrograde. So you may have had a few arguments with people. People may have just irritated you. You may have wanted to back away from people. But with it turning direct, it's all going to start flowing a lot easier. But it's beautiful that it's coming with the release of the full moon as well. So we can finally let go of 2021's pain and all the shadow that have brought with it. I see no 4/4 then. And release it with the first full moon as well, being a wolf moon, first full moon of 2022. Release it for good, you know, so we can start in February. Speaking our truths, being in our true, authentic Aquarian energy of being ourselves, you know, and we don't be ourselves sometimes because we're still holding on to the past. And I've noticed this so much in my life, you know, especially going through the shadow work, of how much I was still holding on to the old me, who I have stripped away from, but I was still holding on to guilt or shame or fears or doubts of who I used to be, not who I'm becoming, you know. So it's all about really releasing that for good. So I just wanted to say that. Like I said, I am going to do a video a reading just after this to see what messages Spirit has for us. I'm not going to pull any cards on this. But yeah, I've had a lot of downloads the past 2 days, and a lot of things pop into my conscious mind, or my reality really, my 3D reality, which has caused me to do a lot of inner work, I guess. And one of them being, I was sat here last night. I had a really, well, I had my night off, my children, which wasn't really a night off, because my son was phoning me all night, but that's another story. And yeah, by the time I got to bed, it was 11 o'clock, and I just picked my book up. I absolutely love writing, and that's a thing that I was blocked in for months, and I've just started doing it again, which is lovely. And yeah, I had a lot of downloads. So one of the things that come to me is why we live a spiritual life. Everybody, it's a big trend now, isn't it? I want to be spiritual, I want to be spiritual. But what does it actually mean to be spiritual? It's lovely to be with the cycle of the full moon. It's lovely to understand the astrology and your birth chart and where you're going in life, your life purpose, etc., etc. But that, you don't get any of that without spirituality, I guess. So why would you, this is what the question that I asked myself last night is, what is the purpose of a spiritual life, and why is it important to have a spiritual purpose? Like I said, a lot of us want to be vegans, a lot of us want to look after our bodies, we want to help, we want to do charity work, because it gives meaning. Give life meaning to you. That's what I channeled. Give your life meaning to you. What does it mean to give your life meaning? It's unprogramming ourselves. Spiritual purpose is about establishing values, principles, and beliefs that give life meaning to you. So your values, your principles, and your beliefs are all inside of you. Okay, so you may want to, like I go back to, might want to work out, you may want to eat healthy, you may want to say you're spiritual, but then continue to have these wounds and these wrong programmings and these wrong beliefs about yourself and about life and about other people inside of you. Regardless of what you're doing on the outside, you can still be doing yoga every day, going to the gym every day, eating healthy. But if you've still got the inside of you, your emotions, okay, your beliefs, your values, your principles, and what you live by, okay, warped, then the outside reality is forever going to be a programmed reality of other people, okay. So that is what, I hope that makes sense to you guys. So that is what I got from what makes your life, why would you be spiritual? What is the reason for being spiritual? Is unprogramming everything inside of you that other people have put into you, to live, because you're living on their values, you're living on their principles, and you're living on their beliefs. Okay, so for example, if you want to do something, right, you want to do a job, or you want to start reading cards like I do, and somebody doesn't believe in that, then that person is going to put their beliefs onto you, okay, or that's stupid, or you'll never do that, you'll never make money, or that won't work, because that's their belief, because that's what they didn't want to do, that's their judgments. And this is what I hate about society. It is a very judgy society, and I love the fact that the ascension is going on right now. So we don't live in such a judgmental society, and we all accept each other for how we are, but unfortunately we do live in a very judgmental society, including in our families and people that we can't get away from, me, myself included, but yeah, it's about being so strong in who you are, right, and your own truths inside of yourself, that when that judgment does come in, okay, when when you say, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do that, and that person, your mother, your father, your friends, your partner say, oh no, I don't think you'll be able to do that, or that's rubbish, or they judge you for it, then once you've got that inner self so aligned with your truths of who you are, there'll be no emotion, there'll be no trigger there'll be no fear. There'll be no fear to back down and be like, oh, okay, maybe you're right, and then forever live on a what if, forever live on a regret. There will be no fear to tell that person, I don't care what your judgment is of me, and my judgment and my truths and what's going on inside of me is all that matters. Thank you for your opinion. but I'm not going to take it, you know. And that is what the purpose of living a spiritual life is being able to be that confident in ourselves and that healed in ourselves, that we can adapt and make our own values and our own principles and our own beliefs our own reality, you know, instead of other people's beliefs, values, and, you know, things that they don't like about us, our reality. And unfortunately, we do make that a reality while we're unhealed, because even though we may go against that person, okay, that is saying that, if we're unhealed, that is going to cause a trigger inside of us, and that is going to make us doubt ourselves, and we won't go on to do what we want to do. Okay, so the most important thing that I can see in a spiritual life, you know, if you strip it all away, yes, looking after our bodies is essential. Yes, eating healthy is essential. I've actually started the past 2 days doing some ab workouts and some bottom half workouts before I go to bed, and when I wake up I've got a blanket now by the side of my bed to make sure I do it, you know, drinking more water, being more conscious of our own inner selves, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally, yes, every single bit of it, but we can't do one without the other, I guess. And that was what I took from that little download, you know. We have to be true to ourselves. We can't say, yeah, I want to do this, or yeah, I am spiritual, and then self-loathe ourselves, you know. We got to learn to accept ourselves for exactly who we are, so then when outer reality reflects something back at us, because that's what happens, guys. Everybody that we meet is a mirror. Okay, that's another thing that I really worked out last night. Like, I have not the best track record in relationships, and I'll tell you a little story of mine now regarding my 2 baby dads, you know. My first partner and my second partner both had babies with, 3 with the first one and 1, my youngest, with the second one. Both toxic relationships, but I was very unawakened in both relationships, and yes, I hold my hands up, it was my fault I got into them relationships, and it was my doing, and I had to get out of it, you know. I don't blame them, and I don't hold, you know, hate or anything, but I come up against blocks all the time with these relationships, okay, due to the children. I have them 6 days a week, they have them 1 day a week. Now, up until this year, really, or maybe last year, when I really started working on myself, whenever they let me down with the children, or whenever they would bring the kids home early or not pick them up till late, literally I don't even have 24 hours a week off them most weeks, or they can't pay maintenance that week, or they don't want to know unless it's their 1 day a week. That's what I get off the 2 of them. Before I started doing inner work and started really working on myself, okay, my inner world, why I become spiritual, I would cry, I would scream, I would get so emotional, guys, okay? I'd phone everybody, I'd phone my mother, I'd phone my first ex's mother and father, I'd argue with them, I'd blame everybody outside of myself, and I wouldn't get anywhere, okay? I'd still be in the house, I'd still be with the children, I'd still have to do, but it would upset me that this was an injustice, and this was this, and yet it is, and masculines, I'm not saying all masculines, so if there's any, you know, I know there's beautiful masculines out there that truly adore their babies and that are grateful to be dads, you know, and I absolutely salute every single one of you. But I do know that I am not alone in this either, and I know there is plenty of single mums out there that have gone through the same story as what I've gone through, you know. So please don't take offence, masculines who are divine and know what it is to be a daddy, then I completely salute you. But for the ones that don't, you know, this is where the feminine energies in the ascension journey and in the dark ages that we've just been in have really been oppressed and told, you know, what to do. You're the mother, you're the woman, you have no rights, you have, you know, there's no rules. I'm allowed to do what I want as a masculine, and you just have to, well, this is what the ascension journey is, and the feminine rising is, and the everything changing, sorry guys, everything turning now. We are going to be liberated, and we're going to have equal rights eventually. It's going to take time, you know, and it's going to take people like me and other women like me to stand up for our rights and to put these masculines in their place, not just in family relationships, but in relationships in general, you know. But that's a completely different story. I've totally gone off track now. But yeah, that was a massive lesson that I learned spiritually last night when my son was phoning me, because he didn't want to be in his daddy's, and his daddy only sees him once a week, and he was just in his bedroom in another woman's house, while his father was downstairs watching telly, and he was crying to me. I couldn't get to him, you know, to go and get him, and so I calmed him down, and we spoke for 2 hours on the phone. I spent 2 hours of my night making sure that he was okay, you know. The old me would have gone nuts, would have gone crazy, but you know what, the new me was really glad that I was there for him, okay, and that I could do that, and like I was there instead of him having to go through that, and I went on the phone and he had nobody to talk to, you know. I seen a massive difference in myself, and I seen the good and the bad, you know. And unfortunately it doesn't, like, I did speak to the ex about it, but unfortunately sometimes there is people like this in our lives, which unfortunately we do have to have in our lives for maybe a little bit, or maybe a long time if they're parents and siblings, you know. But it's the way that we handle them. We can't change people, but we can change ourselves. And this is what having a spiritual life is all about, is changing that inner self. So when we do come up against these blocks, against these pitfalls, against these people, that unfortunately everybody lives on their own level of consciousness, you know. Not everybody's awake to empathy and compassion and understanding, and that's their role on this earth at this time. But us ones that do feel too much and are too sensitive, unfortunately, do get attracted to dark. You know, light attracts the dark, dark attracts the light, and we do suffer. So this is why we have to understand and work out our inner selves, so we stop suffering and stop feeding. Because when we get angry and upset, we're giving all of our energy out to these people that are, and so they're feeding off that energy. They don't care. They're not going to change, you know. It's us that gets depleted. It's our lives that gets messed up. So yeah, that was a big thing for me. And he phoned me again by 8:30 this morning. Whereas again, normally I would have been like, it's my morning off. It's my only morning I got out to 7. But like, I talked to him through this morning. And he's just phoned while I've been on video now, so I'm sure he's on his way home. And my teenagers were home by 10 o'clock. And do you know what? I just let it go and let things be how they are. And that is the beautiful bit about inner work, you know. It's about letting go and understanding that when people hurt us, or when people do wrong to us, or when people just don't see what's right and what's wrong and the justice in life, then that is not on us. Okay, that is not on us, so we shouldn't take on that pain. So we just got to let it go and let karma and the world and the universe take over. See, this is where we go wrong sometimes, and where we have been going wrong, I think, especially me, myself, is trying to be in control of everything. When destiny is destiny and fate is fate, and things happen for a reason, you know. Maybe I've gone through all what I've gone through and all the lessons that I've gone through with the relationships to learn hard lessons. And I know this is why I have, you know, this is the reason why we do go through these things, is to learn things that our souls needed to learn. So that's always a good thing, you know. But beating ourselves up about it and being emotional about it and hating ourselves for it is only going to take away the goodness that's inside of us, you know. Give it up to the universe and let God do what is meant, what God or whatever you believe in, do what they're meant to do, our angels, the lot, you know. So yeah, that was just my little channeling, guys. I just wanted to put that out there about a spiritual life, I guess. It's about going inside. And I know a lot of people find this hard, because you do literally have to be on your own. And well, you don't have to. I mean, you can have close friends. I've got a group I'm just setting up today now, a brand new group, and I'm hoping that the feminines in there with me are going to grow and going to learn, and we're going to be able to heal together, you know. But it's about finding like-minded people, and it's about being okay with being on your own as well, you know, and giving all that time that you're like giving to your friends and giving to relationships or giving to family, to yourself. you know, like I said about my routine this morning and my conscious effort to buy water, flavoured water, a big bottle every day, and drink one of them every day to ensure that I drink water, because I'm a tea drinker and a coffee drinker, guys, which is not good for you, you know. And where is it? I did buy, I can't find it now. Oh, it's right next to me. This as well a couple of weeks ago. It's called an alum block, sorry. And it's really good for fine lines and wrinkles and like putting moisture back into your skin, believe it or not. It does say on here that it's used for, barbers use it for when they shave the faces, but one of my amazing channelers, Suna Moon, who I do get a lot of this information off and who has really helped me on this ascension journey for the past 12 months. I would recommend anybody going and subscribing to her. She's absolutely amazing. If you really want to do deep inner work and you really want to heal these wounds, it's Twin Flame Union and Twin Flame Universe are her two channels. Go and subscribe to her and watch her channel. She's amazing. But yeah, she showed me about this, told me about this on a video a couple of weeks ago, and you basically just put it in a cold bowl of fresh water. Looks like that. You just dip it in, give it a little swiggle about for a minute, and then pop it out. And you can either use your fingers or like a clean makeup brush and put it on your face, all over your skin, leave it till it dries, and then wash it off. And then I use coconut oil, and I'm really, really basic with my natural things. I try and be as natural as I can because I do wear makeup, and so anything that I put on my face is really natural. But I've done that last night, and I done my coconut oil, and yeah, it's all about, and I felt amazing, you know. I felt more amazing going to bed last night on my own with my book and my pen, and like being more focused on my inner world than my outer world. I'm not saying I don't want an outer world. I definitely am looking forward to this Aquarian energy, guys, of like getting back out there and speaking our truths and like collaborating again. I really do miss going to the gym with girls, and I miss being involved, I guess, but social media hasn't been something that I wanted to be on during this process. But yeah, inner work is inner work, you know. It can happen in the summer, it can happen in the winter, but I'm just happy that it's preparing us now, especially with this full moon, to go into this year in the right way, you know, because I know a lot of us suffered. It wasn't just me last year. A lot of us suffered from karmic entanglements and deep lessons from last year and 2020. So being 2022, being a number 6, this is a harmony and balance and real love and true love and unconditional love type of year. So I feel like it's important to put all this pain behind us for good and start properly looking after ourselves on the inside, you know, on a deep emotional level, so the outside will reflect that, you know. Because if we don't do this inner work, okay, and we don't take the time and be like, oh, it's all that other person's fault, I've done nothing wrong, I haven't got no wounds, they were a narcissist, but and I'm an empath, but I still haven't got no wounds, you're just going to jump into another relationship, codependent relationship, and go through exactly the same thing all over again. I've hit a wall with that myself, you know, especially since the last relationship. I've really got to a point now where I just want to put all that energy on me for a bit. And then once you're healed, you don't attract the same type of people, okay? That wound is healed. It's not just the tie, because that is the tie that attracts you, you know, and this is where the cords get attached, where we attach to people with the same wounding as us. But once we're healed and living our purpose and living our mission and living our truths, then we can attract that back to us. I'm going to go now. I hope this all makes sense, guys, and I'm going to be posting this along with a full moon reading, which I'm going to do now straight away. So I hope you have the best full moon, absolutely. I cannot wait for it. I cannot wait to make some more moon oil and set some intentions and let some stuff go for good. And I hope you all do too. Namaste.